Hello and welcome to today's March 30th Daily News Report. 30 million Americans are still waiting on their $1,400 stimulus check. President Biden asks states to not become complacent with COVID while softly threatening another lockdown. The federal government says they might mandate a vaccine passport, while some governors say this violates human rights. Now, if you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now. All right, over 30 million Americans are still waiting on their $1,400 stimulus check, and several million are still waiting on their $600 stimulus check. This is a total failure on the part of the U.S. government. The largest group being those on SSI, disability, Social Security, VA benefits, and railroad benefits. Now, many in this group feel purposely left out or totally forgotten. I'm happy to report that money is on the way, but I agree that this feels like a slap in the face for many people that find themselves in these social benefit programs. However, I've had several people on Social Security or veteran benefits tell me that the My Payment portal is now showing a delivery date for their stimulus check money. So make sure to continue to check back on the Get My Payment portal on irs.gov. The CDC will extend the eviction moratorium from end of March to June 30th. President Biden has said the best way to open a state is to stop opening the state. Biden is asking governors and mayors not to reopen too quickly. Some states are heeding the call, while others are saying we can't continue to stay closed, or else as a state, we won't survive or have an economy. Now, speaking of presidents, did you know that 40 years ago today, President Ronald Reagan was shot during a failed assassination attempt? So he ended up living, he went into surgery. It was a scary time for the country. That was 40 years ago today. Also, today is the 151st anniversary of the 15th Amendment, which gave the legal right for every race to vote in the United States of America. That was a great day. Now, the last 2 days have been up and down in the stock market, but mostly down. Several banks and hedge funds are sending ripples through the market because of leveraged purchases gone wrong. I'll be doing an unbelievable story on how one man could have single-handedly tanked the stock market. Watch for that in the next couple of days. I think that these highly leveraged shorts should probably be illegal because it's costing people billions and billions of dollars. Now, Senator Schumer and Warren are putting tremendous pressure on President Biden to forgive $50,000 of student loan debt. However, as of right now, Biden has said that $10,000 is the maximum he's willing to go, but he will try to get that tax-free so that it's not seen as income while at the same time forgiven. Europe and now the United States are floating the idea of a forced vaccine passport to prove that you've been vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Some say this is a great idea because it will force herd immunity. Others say it's a violation of human rights, that humans should be able to choose what is put into their body. Now, I'm curious to know what my community thinks. Is a vaccine passport wise, or does it go too far, forcing people to inject things into their body? Let me know what you think in the comments, please. The governor of Florida has already publicly said that if the federal government tries to use executive order on a vaccine passport, that he will sign executive order to block it, as it is not something he wants to see in the state of Florida. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much for liking these videos. I love bringing the news to my community. All right, now the Biden administration has revealed the first part of a two-part infrastructure bill, which will cost between $3 and $4 trillion. This infrastructure bill sits between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, people can see that bridges, roads, and airports need updates and modernization. On the other hand, to give context, on its best year, the federal government only brings in around $4 trillion in tax revenue. This means that this new bill will have to come from borrowed money and increased taxes. To give further context, many economists and engineers say that the country actually needs closer to $6 trillion in infrastructure updates. So it doesn't go far enough, and yet it's so much money that it threatens the country's national debt level and also overly taxing U.S. citizens. Right now, the United States GDP is around $20 trillion annually. The national debt is approaching $28 trillion. This means that the United States now owes more money than the entire country, everything that they produce, the services, the sales, all of it combined for the entire United States is less per year than the national debt. Some worry that even with raising taxes, it would never put a dent in the national debt. It is beyond big at this point. The United States currently pays around $400 billion a year in interest-only payments, and this is with interest rates being near 0%. This is why the Federal Reserve simply cannot raise interest rates. This is why you see low interest rates at the bank. Their number one client is the United States government, and if they raise rates, the United States will default on their debt, which would not be good. Now, because of this, we might actually see negative interest rates here in the United States. This means the banking system would actually charge you interest for holding your money at their bank, right? So they not only would they not pay you anything, but they would charge you between 1% to 3% to keep your money safe. Negative interest rates are used to encourage people to spend more money and have less savings, which typically does not put people in a good financial position. You want to have an emergency fund. You want to have money to fall back on. You want to be putting money away so that at some point you can retire or weather a medical procedure or an emergency. So these negative interest rates can actually have a very negative effect on U.S. households. It also makes those that want to out-earn inflation and have their dollar keep up with inflation and the rising cost of living. More and more people are placing money at higher percentages into the stock market so that they can get a higher return. This also means that their savings or their emergency fund or their retirement fund, in some cases, can have too much risk exposure. So this is a developing story as the national debt continues to balloon. Now, let me ask my community, are you old enough to remember when a basic savings account earned 5% interest? I am. I miss those days, right? Very little risk and 5% growth on just your checking or savings account was pretty cool. Let me know in the comments. Are you old enough to remember that? All right. Now we are in a position where they may charge 1% to 3% just to hold your money. Japan and a few other countries are currently using negative interest rates with their citizens. Now, regarding the Suez Canal situation that I discussed yesterday and every news organization has discussed over the last 5 or 6 days, the biggest thing to help free the ship besides manual labor and brute force from other ships was actually the full moon. The moon had the tides rise up the Suez Canal, which lifted the boat and helped them drag it out of the sand and the rocks. So thanks, moon. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. Remember, the subscriber appreciation giveaway ends Wednesday at midnight. So follow that link and go get signed up. You're running out of time. And then I have lined up some great new sponsors that I can't wait to introduce you to so that I can give away some more money here in the coming month. As you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I really believe that. And I really do appreciate you being in my community. And I'll see you on the next video.